Zilch left, 35 Wichita Macho
Dice
Toe.
right, F5.
Dice right numbers, 3 Jet Spielberg.
Ready? Right. All right, and welcome back to the Pre-Snap Pressure Podcast, episode 18. 2 weeks left in the college football regular season. I don't want it to end, Ryan.
It's gonna though, but it's only gonna get better in these next couple of weeks.
That's true.
So.
Yeah, and also I'm in a very spooky, dark setting today because, well, I was trying to mess with my lights to make them look good, and it just wasn't working. So now I look like I'm in a power outage, but that's fine because we had super bad rainstorms earlier, so that makes sense, I guess. I'm also really tired, so maybe I feel more comfortable in this lighting.
You're just giving excuses right now.
Yeah, I know. Anyways, we got football to talk about, so let's move on to that instead of why I'm in a dark room right now. Anyways, starting off with...
I feel like that's more important, though.
Is it really? I don't really think it is. As always, I'm here with Ryan, as annoying as ever. How are you this week, Ryan?
Per usual. What?
How are you this week? Correction, how
I
are you
honestly,
on Saturday night?
Awful. I was in an awful mood. All right. It was an awful weekend, minus Ahmad Hardy. But it was one blow after another. It went A&M, OU, Texas sucking.
Anyways, we'll get into that we'll get into all of what Ryan just said a whole lot later. Starting off with the bottom 5 of this episode, with an honorable mention to that one Texas State trooper after that Nick Harbor touchdown for just being unnecessarily rude in the tunnel. I still don't know the reason why he did that or anything like that. He just kind of like bumps into 2 South Carolina players for no reason at all.
Yeah, what are we even thinking? There is quite literally no reason that should have even ever been a thought to happen. It's super unprofessional and I don't know exactly what to call it, but I don't know. His bosses relieved him of his duties.
He got fired
very quickly.
He got fired
instantly. Yeah,
he got fired
instantly. I think we were still at our tailgate, and he got fired.
I saw the thing that he got fired before I even saw what happened. That's how quick it was. And
I had heard about it
while the
and
game
then
was
he got fired.
Still going on, I think, or at least right after it.
Yeah, I think it was right after the game.
I guess kudos to whoever his supervisor is for acting fast.
Yeah.
Speaking of that,
good work there.
Yeah. Speaking of that game, number 5 is Texas A&M in the first half for doing nothing. Quite literally, they had 3 points. I think Marcel Reed was 6 for 19. Dude just missed a ton of throws, and when he wasn't missing throws, the receivers were dropping passes. Literally nothing could go right for them in the first half.
Yeah, it was just kind of one of those halves where it was, like you said, nothing was going right. I mean, there was a defensive touchdown at the end of the first, an 80-yard touchdown with under a minute to go in the second half. Those were really the only two. It was really 3 big plays. It was a 50-yard touchdown pass, a fumble 6, and then an 80-yard touchdown pass.
Whoa.
Scoop and score.
There you go.
Fine.
Fumble
Jeez,
6.
Louise. I call them fumble 6s or scoop and scores. I don't really care. And then it was really just those 3 big plays that kind of made that half look as bad as it was. And then, yeah.
Yeah.
it not to spoil anything, but
we'll get into it later.
Carolina.
We'll get into it later. Moving on. Moving on to number 4 is Texas on special teams for... go ahead, get your rage out, buddy.
Yeah, look, I don't know who Texas... Let me look it up real quick. Mm-hmm. But whoever Texas special teams coordinator is, Jeff Banks. The only reason that I think you still have a job right now is because Ryan Niblett just happens to be the greatest return man in the history of return man. All right, I don't want to hear about your Cordero Pattersons and your Devin Hesters and
I'm not
anyone else.
I'm not saying
It's
anything,
Ryan Niblett.
mainly because I'm pretty sure a major part of the reason that they wanted to do that onside kick was they're like, it's one less return for Ryan Niblett.
Yeah, one last return, and then you know what? The one time he did have a good return,
Gets called back
it
for a
gets
hold.
called back for a holding, and it's like, can we go?
No,
Yeah,
no,
it
no,
was a
no, no, no.
holding.
It
It
was
was
a
a
holding.
holding. It was a holding. It was a holding. Whatever. Uh, but and then the punt team. I don't know what it is. Why in the world anybody ever thought this was a good idea? But yeah, let's right before we snap the ball, let's shift the entire like everyone. Let's move everyone like 2 feet to the right. What? What? I like. What does that do? What does that do for you? Does it just get you moving? Does it maybe draw the other team off? I don't know what you saw in the offseason, but why you keep doing that and you continue to get illegal motion penalties on punting is the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen. And then the surprise onside kick was just the cherry on top of all of that to just get me so just infuriated. The amount of penalties that came from special teams were infuriating. I'm waiting for
There was four,
the
wasn't there?
notification that Jeff Banks gets fired.
There was four. Four of their penalties were from special teams, right?
Something like that. Two of them were illegal motions. I
They had
like
the hold on
the holding. It's just there's it's ugly. It's ugly. It's been ugly. It continues to be ugly. It's ah.
Arr.
That's yeah, and I mean the Longhorns were never going to win that game, but ugh, ew, gross, nasty, disgusting.
Anyways,
Arch Manning's finally looking good though.
he did. No, no, no. He was through like the first quarter. I'm pretty sure he was the only one in Texas doing anything positive.
Yeah, and then once the game was over, he kind of started just not playing well. But I mean, they were throwing it every play, so they had to,
Yeah.
and it just wasn't completing.
Yeah. By the way, in the last 2 years, in 3 games between Texas and Georgia, Georgia has more points than Texas does rushing yards.
Shocker. Like I think they just went away from the run game so fast this week.
And I have no clue why, because it was kind of working during that first drive.
Yeah. Well, you know, Steve Sarkisian.
Anyways, moving on to number 3, the bottom 5 is UMass for being trash and being 0-10.
Just continuously for like the last 15 years, dude. It's like they've just notoriously been the worst team in college football.
Would you believe me if I told you that this team hosted an SEC team for a home game last year?
Gee, I wonder which team they hosted.
Hey, man.
And
No other team's going to handle that. Massachusetts cold, man.
yeah,
I'm
okay,
making it.
that wind was moving though. That wind was moving.
Yeah, sure. Whatever, buddy. It's like it was.
It was. What do you?
I mean, yeah, but
I'm not
like
saying it was going to affect the outcome of the game. I'm just saying it was moving.
that's not affecting anybody's outcome in that stadium at all, because I don't think you need wind to affect you to beat the brakes
Also-
off the Minutemen.
Also, real quick, I'm looking at the football power index. 1-10 Boston College is ahead of 7-3 Jacksonville State.
Oh wow.
I just think that's funny. That's how that works.
That is really funny. All right, moving on. Number 2 of the bottom 5 is Louisville. I feel embarrassed to say I had this team in my playoffs 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, that was kind of a little
Sticking out my left hand and saying I was wrong.
and the little t-shirt grab. The yikes,
Wait, how's this
buddy.
one? Is that
yeah. The
hit a goal?
yeah,
I was wrong. I was wrong about Louisville, massively.
Yeah, I mean and it was two like bad losses too. Like
Yep.
two home games against two inferior opponents. I mean,
Now they got to play SMU next.
yeah, man, that Miami game is looking worse and worse for the Hurricanes every week.
Yeah. Anyways. Uh,
Except they keep winning, so
oh, congrats! They're on a one-game winning streak. Yeah, one-game winning streak,
two
two-game
game,
winning
two
streak.
game,
Oh,
two
okay.
game.
My bad. Hey, two-game winning streak. My bad. Sorry.
Hey, they won those games by a fair amount too. All right.
Didn't they play Boston College and NC State?
No, they played Syracuse and NC State.
Oh, that's so much better.
I know.
Anyways, moving on to the number one worst team, worst performance for this week is South Carolina. Pretty obviously, we're up 30-3 going into half, and you lose the game.
You know, somehow that's a bigger comeback than what Tom Brady did in Super Bowl 51.
I hate you with a
I
passion.
know.
I don't want to talk
I know.
about the Falcons at all. Michael Penix probably out for the year. Drake London's out for this. We're gonna lose to the Saints
Wait, Drake London's out?
for a week, at least.
Crap, dude.
We are losing to the Saints.
He's like my saving grace in fantasy.
Yeah, it's like my saving grace every time I watch this team play football and then get disappointed every single week.
Just switch bird teams, bro.
No, I'm not switching to your stupid Eagles, bro.
Yeah, that's fair.
All right, that's it for the bottom five of the week. Moving on to the top five of the week, talk about some positive things. Honorable mention for Aaron Donald being really funny and essentially punishing Pat McAfee for picking Notre Dame. I guess I don't know what I'm hearing outside right now, but essentially on game day, both these guys are nuts. By the way, they took their shirts off. Pat stood on his stool and in Pitt picked Notre Dame because obviously Pat's a West Virginia guy. He's gonna pick against Pitt, and Aaron Donald pushed him off the chair.
Yeah, that is pretty funny. I can't lie.
Good humor to start the football day. Moving on to number 5 is Jacob Rodriguez, linebacker for Texas Tech. I don't even know. Can I say linebacker anymore? He does everything.
He's low key just the goat. That's all he is.
What you told me his stats for this recording? What was it on the year?
He's got 97 total tackles, 54 solo tackles. He's got a sack, 7 forced fumbles, 2 fumbles recovered, 4 picks, and 6 passes defended.
Good Lord.
There's not much else you can say about this guy except that he's a gamer. Like he's balling out every single week.
That is the definition of a gamer right there.
He's got 284 total tackles in his time in college.
Dang. So it's pretty good.
I really wish the Eagles needed a linebacker.
I hate you,
Yeah, I know. I'm very happy with this linebacker core, but Jacob Rodriguez he's fun to watch. It's undeniable.
There's 2 people sitting here on this episode. One of them is a fan of the Eagles, and the other one has to watch J.D. Bertrand play football week in, week out. Which one do you think is asking for another linebacker? I'm not saying I'm
complaining about my team. I'm just saying he's fun to watch.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong. Moving on to number 4 is Georgia Bulldogs all around for their performance against Texas.
Gunnar Stockton had 5 incompletions. He had the 1 interception, which was a little rough, but other than that, he was dicing up the Longhorn secondary all game. I texted my dad multiple times just with the comment of secondary question mark because I didn't know if any of the DBs knew how to play the position because that's how badly the Longhorns were getting diced up through the air, just up and down the field went the Bulldogs. 4 touchdowns passing. The run game, Nate Frazier, 72 yards, 4.5 per carry. Gunnar Stockton, 4.8 a carry. It was just every play that Mike Bobo was drawing up just seemed to be perfect. for the most part. There were a couple of drives where Georgia went 3-and-out or had to punt, but Texas did nothing with it ever. So
How about DeMello Jones? We and you were watching this game together. Every time Texas, after the first play of the
yeah,
game,
oh my
every
gosh,
time Texas threw a screen pass, it felt like DeMello Jones was on top of it. He also body
just
slammed.
right there.
He body slammed the heck out of Ryan Wingo on one of those
Oh
plays.
my gosh, DeMello Jones was everywhere on those screenplays. It was getting frustrating to watch because every time they ran a screenplay to Ryan Wingo, guess who's busted through the block?
DeMello Jones.
DeMello Jones.
DeMello Jones.
Golly, man.
Yeah.
Just beat A&M. Just beat A&M.
Leave it to Texas to take a Georgia corner who's been struggling and receiving criticism from the fan base to make for a breakout game. Last year was Dalen Everett. This year it's DeMello Jones. Anyways, moving on to number 3 is Texas A&M in the second half. Because I don't know what type of halftime speech Mike Elko gave in the locker room, but good God. 28 unanswered points in the second half, and they won after trailing 30-3 at halftime.
There's nothing else I can say about that, and I mean, as a Texas fan, having to watch both Texas A&M and Oklahoma come back against opponents, Oklahoma coming back against Alabama on the road was just very annoying. It's very annoying to watch. I can't lie. And Marcel Reed just have a second half, dude. I guess. Jeez. And Casey Concepcion, because he's apparently just the greatest receiver of all time.
Yeah, I've never seen a more 180 flip in a quarterback from Marcel Reed between the first and the second half, because he looked like he didn't
Seriously.
know his what from his elbow in the first half, and then the second half
Yeah.
he quite literally looked like I'm gonna say it, a Heisman contender.
Absolutely. I mean, yeah, we can talk about the Heisman here in a bit if we want, but yeah, he's playing some good ball.
Yeah, that's wide open, by the way. I could not give you
Honestly, I'm
finalists at the
starting.
moment.
Yeah, there's 4 guys right now in my head.
I don't know if there's 4 that separate themselves from everybody else. I just don't know.
I think I can argue a 5th right now, but
Look, we'll talk about it in a sec. We'll talk about it after a sec. Let's get through the top 5. Number 2 is Kawan Lacey, running back for Ole Miss. Broke a record for touchdowns for the season, I believe, for Ole Miss in this game against Florida, and he did a lot for their offense. Over 200 rushing yards, had 3 touchdowns on the day. That puts him up to 18 on the year. And that's
19.
19, excuse me. That's only his first year in the Rebel system. And yeah, he's looking real good.
That's nuts.
Now, Mr. Lacey would be number 1 if there wasn't a running back that did better than him on Saturday. And Ryan, who is it?
Gee, I have no idea. I think he might be from Mississippi though.
He might be.
I think he hails from Mississippi. I think he leads the country in rushing yards now.
I think he had 300 yards rushing on the day against Mississippi State. Did he?
I think he had 3 touchdowns against Mississippi State.
I think he had a 72-yard rushing touchdown against Mississippi State.
I think his name might be Ahmad Hardy.
I think he likes horses.
I like horses.
I like horses.
He's the Nikola Jokic of college football.
Anyways, number 1, Ahmad Hardy. Good God, 25 carries, 300 rushing yards, 12 yards of pop, and 3 touchdowns. Cap it off a long 72-yard rushing touchdown. Just eviscerated the Bulldogs defense.
Yeah, I mean, you literally can't ask for anything else out of a guy, just ever. That's phenomenal work. 12 yards a carry. He in the press conference he was talking. He was like, "Yeah, I started running around guys instead of running through them."
Looks like it works.
Gee, yeah. Do it again next week, please. Beat Oklahoma, please, 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 please. What else? He also said he was asked, is that like your career high in just any level of play? He's like, "No, I had 400 in high school."
Ooh. That's fun.
Just,
Video game numbers. That's funny.
Yeah.
Anyways,
Also, not to mention, just the Mizzou defense had a phenomenal day.
oh
They gave
yeah,
up 27 points, but they had a phenomenal day.
27. Oh yeah, it was 27.
Yeah.
Um, Still, but they had two pick sixes or something like that. One by Toriano
I think
Pride.
they had one pick six. They had two picks, but one pick six, I think.
I'm sure, no, didn't
Oh no, two pick sixes.
Drayden
Two
Norwood
pick
also have
sixes.
one for each corner.
No. Pride and Burks both had pick
Burke,
sixes.
sorry,
That was
not
it.
Norwood. Yeah. Anyways, getting off topic here. That concludes the top five. We're moving on to our talking points. First one of the day: James Franklin. Earlier today, is being filmed on Monday the 17th, being named the next head coach of Virginia Tech. Ryan, your opinions on this hire?
I don't hate it. I think he's definitely going to help improve the program. He's a good coach. He was great at Penn State for a long time. Had a lot of great players come in and out of the program. Abdul Carter, Micah Parsons, Saquon Barkley, just to name a few. But I think the one thing is the one thing that I think that's going to carry with them and that's going to be interesting to watch is once they do finally get into that, contender uh, level of play, are they going to be able to win those big games against teams like Miami and maybe Clemson if they're back to where they should be? Against, Virginia if they continue playing well, Florida State if they figure it out. There's a lot of programs in the ACC that, year in, year out could either be really good or have bad seasons. So if there comes a season where it's down to the last game and Virginia Tech's got to win one more game just to get in the playoffs, and that's really all they got to do is can they do that? That's really my only question. Otherwise, I think this is a really good hire.
Look, if I'm Virginia Tech and I want to get back to being a yearly solid team, like they were in the mid 2000s, 10,
Hmm.
11 wins a year. They haven't
Get
had
that stadium pulse back.
a 10-win season since 2012. They've only had one 10-win season. That was in 2016. So this is I think this is a good hire to get them back to that. We are a solid team year in year out. We're going to compete for a top tier bowl game, and should Franklin build a program correctly, we can get some ACC titles here and there. And make a few playoff appearances. Do I think it's a national championship contending move? No, but I don't think their program's at a state to make such a move. Look,
Right.
it'll take them back to hopefully I think this move can take them back to the success that they had under Frank Beamer.
Yes. Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at as well.
All right. Next, speaking of Beamers, Shane Beamer. See next to get the can.
I I was the one to bring this one up. I just the
Oh,
way he's kind of carried himself this year, I feel like yes, maybe just because like he's been extremely cocky. He was supposed to have the number one pick in this year's draft at QB, Lenore Sellers. Apparently can't finish games. Who would have seen that one coming? Um, but I don't know. I think maybe last year was a bit of a one and done team. Um, Maybe some of those guys who left had a bigger impact than we initially thought, but I don't know if it's necessarily his last season, but I think you can start saying his seat's heating up.
I think. By the way, before I even say anything about Shane Bieber himself, I want to call myself an idiot for typing Shane Bieber on the notes, the baseball pitcher, not Shane Beamer.
Did
Um,
you actually type Shane Bieber?
Go look at it.
No, I read that earlier and I just didn't even like
I just
acknowledge that it said Bieber.
like blank minded Beamer to Bieber. Anyways, I think Shane Beamer as a coach doesn't live up to high expectations, and this has become a pattern with him when his team is expected to not be good. They'll come out and surprise a lot of people. Meanwhile, on the flip side, when they have high expectations, they fall flat in their face. We saw go back to 2022. People thought they weren't a good team. They brought in Spencer Rattler. They thought, After the first few weeks, this is a dumpster fire of a team. Then later in that season, they knocked Tennessee off and absolutely beat the brakes off them in the last few weeks of the season, and then go on to beat Clemson. They carry those expectations into next year in 2023, and they have a very disappointing year. They do have some good playmakers, but you know, people are like, okay, last year at the end of the year was a fluke. You just got hot at the right time. You're really not this good. And going into the year after that, not very high expectations. You had one of their guys transfer out to Ole Miss because they're like, we don't have a quarterback. Boom, here comes Lenora Sellers, has a breakout year. They go 9-3, beat South Carolina again, look really really good heading into 2025, and flat in your face again.
Wait, they beat who?
Did I say they beat South Carolina? I meant they beat Clemson.
There you go. There you go.
Same state, sorry. But yeah, flat on their face. And I just don't think he's there to coach in the national spotlight. I don't know. It's just it's a phantom hurdle for him.
Yeah, I don't know if that team was exactly ready. I think it was kind of another scenario of they might have just gotten hot, and
And,
this year they haven't found it yet.
and
So and they didn't find it.
like you said, those guys from last year might have had a bigger impact than we thought. Nicky Manwari, Kyle Kennard,
Yeah,
two of the biggest names from last
Rocket.
year's defense. Rocket Sanders, another name, the running back last year. Yeah, different
Just
team, but
some guys that seem to, some guys that couldn't necessarily fill the shoes of those guys that left last year.
yeah. You go ahead with our next point because you're the one who.
Ooh, let me
put
pull it
this
up.
in.
Let me pull it up. Oh yeah. I can't remember exactly what day it was, but I think it was after last week's episode that Coach Beam, I don't know the exact college, but it's of Last Chance U, was shot and killed,
Oakland.
and yeah, I mean, the whole idea behind Last Chance U, I believe, is that it's just an extra opportunity for some of those guys who uh, still wanted to continue playing football, still wanted to continue with their careers, and just got into a little bit of trouble. And Coach Bean provided them an opportunity, and he was responsible for getting, I believe it was at least 20 players drafted. I know C.J. Anderson was one of them. So, I mean, some of those guys who played under him, had great opportunities to go succeed in the NFL, and I mean, that's just awful. Like, there's no other way to put that. It's just a really bad thing that happened in the college football world, and it's just upsetting.
Yeah, very upsetting. It's that day whenever you lose like a great figure in a sport like that. So
Yeah.
moving on. As we said, 2 weeks left in the regular season. We got what? We got the playoff show today. We have one next week. We have one the week after, and then the next show is Selection Sunday. So, got 3 games left for each team. And we've whittled some teams down. So, Ryan, what are the playoffs looking like to you?
I gotta pull up my playoff picture real
We
quick to
should.
see if I need to change anything. But at the moment, I think I'm still sitting with my same teams. I think I can officially take Texas out of my picture. Um, but I think Georgia is the one wrong pick right now, where I said that they would finish 11-2. Or no, I actually had them beating Texas. Never mind. Um, and making the conference championship. Actually, no, everything's still going well over here. Now
uh,
that I'm looking at it,
now that you're looking at.
uh, yeah, I've still got Ohio State, Alabama as my. Oh no, Alabama's gone. uh, so I mean, gee, I can't. I don't think Texas A&M is my conference champ. Um, I mean,
Do you still think they're losing to Alabama?
No, I think they're losing to Georgia now, actually. So
Alabama
I'm actually gonna.
has to lose to Auburn for Georgia to go to the SEC championship. Alabama has the tiebreaker.
Mm, that's right. Then hold on. Let me look at the SEC standings real quick because if okay, so Bama wins out, would Ole Miss get in over Bama? No, because Georgia has a tiebreaker over Ole Miss. Never mind.
No,
Um,
it is currently, I think it is still Texas A&M and Alabama.
yeah, it is still Texas A&M and Alabama. It's just Alabama wouldn't be 12-1 anymore. But I don't think Texas A&M beats Texas. I gotta be honest.
Well, I'm gonna shuffle the teams around, but I think I'm keeping the same teams. Actually, I'm
I yeah, I think I'm at that same point where I'm just gonna move them around.
I am swapping one team out for another. I am going to swap BYU for Oklahoma. I'm gonna move Texas
Interesting.
A&M up to 3, Indiana up to 2, Georgia up to 4. Yeah, everyone slides up. Um, I put Oklahoma. We'll put Bama down at 10 and Oklahoma at 9. So then it'll be that looks good. So it should be mine is
Mm,
Ohio State, Indiana, Texas
yeah,
A&M, Georgia, Texas Tech, Ole Miss, Oregon, Notre Dame, Oklahoma, Alabama, Georgia Tech, and North Texas.
yeah. It's just like I can't. I don't think I can justify keeping BYU in if the committee's not gonna have BYU in.
They don't make
Um,
like literally they don't have them over them now, and there's no way they're gonna be dropped.
yeah, they're gonna. Yeah, they're not gonna put them in there.
It depends on if they keep I mean Oklahoma is in if they win out. It's a question if they keep 8-2 Alabama over 9-1 BYU. I think they will.
Yeah, I don't think they're gonna drop Alabama quite yet because Alabama can still make the conference championship. But I
Yeah,
mean, do you think a 10-3 Alabama would get in
over. Well, no, but just no,
over
no.
an 11-2 BYU?
I think neither of those teams are getting in.
Really?
They would drop Bama and BYU past like whoever's next in line. Let me go look at the one from last week.
You think an 11-2 BYU is out before a 10-2 Utah?
Let me go look. They currently have BYU a spot ahead of Utah.
Right.
So yeah, assuming and BYU would face another loss, but they wouldn't. Like,
You
there's no way
but
they would
but
drop.
like you can't do that, by the way.
I know. That's why I don't know why they decided to
An
drop.
11-2 BYU or BYU, I'm pretty sure beat
They beat Utah. That's what
Utah.
I'm saying. I don't know.
Yeah, so they wouldn't drop them
I mean,
below.
it's a lot of intangibles to unpack. I don't think they'd probably keep BYU unless they would vault whoever's next over them, which at this point in time is Vanderbilt.
I mean, unless a 10-2 Michigan gets in
Yeah, that too. Or 10 and
or
2
eleven and
USC.
two. I think they'd be 11-2 or 10-2.
10 and
Yeah,
2
USC's
USC.
still in the picture as well. I mean, there's a lot of teams still in the picture with a few weeks left.
Yeah. No, I agree. Um but I think it's a little bit more clear now. I think you can't say that every team that is ranked outside of Tennessee has a shot to get in anymore. That's just not. That ain't it. I'd say you really are looking from number 1 all the way down to about number 17 mainly. With the
Yeah.
exclusion of Miami. I don't think they're making the playoffs. They literally have to have I think 6 upsets have to happen in the ACC for them to get in, or like 3 upsets above them, which I don't think is happening.
No.
So I think we're down to about we have the 4 outside looking in, and then
I
we
mean, I
have
guess Miami can still
12.
sneak in as well. I mean, it's
I
just
mean they can, but like I said, a lot of stuff has to happen for Miami, more so than USC or
Also,
Michigan.
does do 12-1 James Madison and 12-1 North Texas jump all of them?
No, I don't think so. If they don't have them,
Interesting.
I mean, they didn't have either of those teams ranked last week, right? There's no way they're going to vault them over. My only scenario for where those two could get in is if somehow Duke won the ACC, and that's out of the question now. So I think it'll literally just be whichever one of those the committee faces. So if I'm two of those, if I'm James Madison, North Texas, you better look damn good in your last two games and in the conference championship.
Yeah, I mean, it's if they're both 12-1, it's James Madison. It's just
I,
no denying
I
it.
mean, we don't know what the committee thinks of those two teams because neither of them was ranked last week. We obviously think they thought South Florida was better than both of them.
Right. But that's out of the question now. But James Madison's one loss is a road loss to Louisville, 28-14.
Yeah.
North Texas's one loss is a 63-36 loss at
Ooh.
home to South Florida. So
Yeah.
it's more than likely going to end up being
James
James Madison if one of those two teams gets in.
Yeah. Yeah, probably. I'd agree with what?
No, go.
Okay. Yeah, no. I mean, I was just saying I agreed with that. But yeah, I'm still keeping my conference championship picks. So Ohio State of the Big Ten, Texas A&M of the oh no, I said Alabama. I'm gonna switch that to Texas A&M. For the SEC, Texas Tech for the Big 12, and Georgia Tech for the ACC. And yeah, I guess we'll swap in James Madison since we just concluded that. If Selection Sunday were to be right now, it'd probably be James Madison over North Texas.
Yeah, I'll just go ahead and list my 4 or 5 conference champs. Still think it's Ohio State. I think Georgia is going to sneak in and win the conference
Bama's got to lose
championship.
another game.
No,
Yes.
Texas A&M just needs to lose.
Oh yeah, that's right.
So I mean, Bama needs to lose potentially, but Texas A&M can also lose for it to happen.
You're right.
So I think they're going to sneak in. And then Tech is going to win their conference.
Which Tech, dog? You can't.
Texas Tech.
There you go.
Honestly, both Techs at this point.
You got to be more specific.
Sorry. When I say Tech, because I'm from Texas, I think Texas Tech, and you think
I think Georgia Tech.
So,
yeah,
because you're from Georgia. Yeah, I forget. We both have some big Techs. And then I'm gonna continue to stay with North Texas because
just
obvious.
I mean, I like North Texas over James Madison,
but I will say I still love James Madison.
The Dukes. All right. Anyways, yeah. So that's what.
Do we want to talk Heisman real quick or
pictures looking? Like I want to get into Heisman, but like, dude, I don't even know. Like, it is so.
We can talk about it next week.
No. I know. I want to talk about it. Like, I just gotta like.
All right.
If you were to select, if you're a Heisman voter right now, and you're sending 4 guys to New York, which 4 guys are you sending?
If I'm sending 4 guys, I'm sending Fernando Mendoza.
Agreed.
Marcel Reed.
Agreed.
Jacob Rodriguez.
Whoa.
And Ahmad Hardy.
Okay, wow. Interesting. I will agree with you on Fernando Mendoza.
The 2 QBs.
Wait, yeah, you left out Ty Simpson.
Yeah, I don't think Ty Simpson's a Heisman candidate.
All right, well, I'm keeping Mendoza. I'm keeping Marcel Reed. This is tough. This is real tough. I'm mixed between 3 guys right here. There's 3 guys I went for.
Actually,
3
I'm
guys
gonna switch him out. I'm gonna switch Ahmad Hardy.
4.
Drew Mestamaker.
Whoa. Okay. Interesting.
Just
All right.
yeah.
I'm keeping Fernando Mendoza without a doubt.
Yes.
Yeah. As much as I hate to, I'm gonna have to knock Ty Simpson off just because of a few down games for that Bama team as a whole. He looked good this week, but they lost, and then in the past few weeks he hasn't looked great. Neither has the Bama team. They've just scraped by with wins. They're also throwing the ball like 40 times a game, so it's really helping his numbers. So I will go. We'll go Mendoza. We'll go Marcel Reed. I will go Julian Sayin, and I'm gonna stick a running back in there somewhere, but it's not Ahmad Hardy because I think this running back does more for his team, and I think he's on a better team. I know it's hard to say that about Ahmad Hardy, but this guy literally. Yeah, I'm sending Jeremiah Love.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting decision.
Yeah.
I would have said Kawan Lacey before Jeremiah Love.
Juan Lacey's also
I mean,
really good pick.
give it to Jeremiah. Actually, it's like, yeah, all right. Yeah, no, I mean, I think Jacob Rodriguez is having one of the best defensive seasons that we've really seen in a while.
If I were to send a defensive player, it would be Jacob Rodriguez.
Yeah,
Let's get that out.
And yeah, and I mean, I think he's playing so well, and there's not really a quarterback out there that's having a good enough season for me to justify only having 4 quarterbacks uh, in the Heisman race. And I really think it's between Mendoza and Marcel Reed right now. But Drew Mestemaker is having a really comparable season to those two. I know he's playing, lesser opponents and whatnot. He's throwing the ball a little bit more than both of them. But, I mean, he's got 3,000 yards, he's got 23 touchdowns, and he's only got 4 interceptions. Yeah. He's having a really good season. He's playing good football. North Texas is in the playoff picture. They're in the playoff hunt. There's a lot going for him that you could argue putting him in there. He also had a 600-yard game this year, which was awesome. I mean, I think you can make the argument to put him in the finalist.
Going back to why I said Love over Hardy's got this going for him too, but more so over Kawan Lacey. Kawan Lacey's got 1 more yard than Jeremiah Love.
Yeah, no, I realize that
and Kawan Lacey has, hold up, let me math real quick. What is that?
It's like 40 more carries.
No, that's 52. That is 50.
Is it 52?
54. I can't math.
Let me see.
23.
Yeah, 54 more carries.
23.
54 more carries.
54 more carries and 1 more yard. Jeremiah Love also shares his backfield with Jadarian Price. He is in a 2-back backfield
system,
and he's still putting up these numbers. That's why I'm picking a back over. Hold on, time out. Let me finish. That's why I'm picking him over a back like Kawan Lacey.
No.
Ahmad Hardy falls in the same category.
Over Ahmad Hardy? Why over Ahmad Hardy?
Team success. That is a factor in Heisman voting. Team success.
Is it though?
Yes, it is.
So then why did Travis Hunter win it
because that was a literal...
Because he was a two-way player.
Yeah, I don't think he should have won it last year.
Yeah, obviously. But
I don't think he should have won it last year.
I mean, that just means team success doesn't...
That was a very... that was
like, it factors, and it was a very special occasion, but like...
That was a special occasion. Look.
But they only have 1 more win than Mizzou.
Look.
And they don't really have it. I mean, they've got the Pitt win, but they don't really have a great win in there.
They don't. But
the USC win, yeah, I guess.
Look, this is who I think is being sent to New York if it were to end today. And you know what? They like their big brands. They like their big name players. Jeremiah Love's been put in Heisman conversation since the end of last year.
Jeremiah Love should be at Mizzou. He's from St. Louis.
Yeah, crazy to think the leading rusher in the nation is Ahmad Hardy at Mizzou, and in 3rd place is Kawan Lacey, who was on Mizzou's bench last year.
And Jeremiah Love, who could have gone to Mizzou.
Yeah.
It probably never was going to, but could have.
But yeah, and then there's one guy you did not talk about, who I
Oh,
put in my four.
top four. Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't think he's gonna win the award like a lot of people think, and here's why. That guy's Julian Sand. It's been established that you need if a Heisman winner needs a Heisman moment, right? They
Hmm.
need one moment that said this is the most outstanding player in the country. Julian Sand does not have that. Granted, he's got 2 games. Yeah, 2 games left. They got plenty of time to get that done. By plenty of time, I mean it's probably going to be against Michigan or in the championship should they make it the Big Ten championship. Um, but there's really not a situation this year where Sand has put Ohio State on his back and has, willed, with his own willed them to a win. They've comfortably won pretty much every game against Texas, and he was not a factor in that game against Texas. He had 126 passing yards.
Yeah, no, he wasn't great.
So there's not been a situation where, it's been, okay, Julian, we're down 4, fourth quarter. We need a drive. Go get us a drive. Fernando Mendoza has that. Jeremiah Love has had those moments. Marcel Reed had his this weekend. They were down 30-3. He looked like crap. Mike Elko went to his quarterback and said, we need you to play better. And he played lights out. Julian
Right.
Sand doesn't have that.
Yeah, I don't think this is Julian Saint's year. Number one, this is his first season, like as a starting quarterback. I think he'll have another opportunity.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
I think that'll go through the committee's mind. It's just like yeah, he's had a great year. He hasn't really done anything special. There's other guys that we could throw in there as well. Let's see what we can get from him next year.
And
Um,
hold on. I want to point this out.
mhm.
I want to point this out. Granted, was a beat down. Granted, was against UCLA. They didn't need to throw the ball. Against UCLA, Carnell Tate did not play in this game, and Jeremiah Smith got hurt. Julian Sand did not have over 200 passing yards.
Right. It's yeah. I mean, he's he's more of a completion percentage guy than he is a passing yards guy, and that's totally fine because he's got an 80% completion percentage, and that's off the charts. And I think in I mean, if he can get some more yards to his name and a couple more touchdowns, like yeah, he's definitely a contender, and I think he is going to be the best quarterback going into next season, but I don't think it's his year yet, and that's perfectly okay. I think he's had a great year, and I'm not discrediting him in the slightest bit. I just think there are other guys that have had some better seasons.
They've had better years, and they've done it with less. I think.
Yep,
I don't want again, like you said,
absolutely.
I don't want to take anything away from him. Dude's got some really good games, some really good numbers. I think he's got the easiest job for any quarterback in the country.
Yeah, absolutely.
If I look to my left, I have Jeremiah Smith. If I look to my right, I have Carnell Tate. I have a
If I
top.
look in front of me, I have the best offensive line in all of college football.
By the way, if I look, and whoever the third receiver is, it's either Brandon Innes or Mylan Graham, 2 5-star receivers.
Yeah,
By the way, my
he's
defense
got
is top 5 in the country.
yeah, it's the easiest job in it's he's the game manager. He's a game manager quarterback, and
Yeah.
you know what? That is exactly what he's been. He has been the perfect game manager.
Okay. I mean, yeah.
He's not turning the ball over
Precisely.
very often. He's completing passes. He's not throwing that many. He's keeping the drive. He's allowing the drive to continue to progress.
Yeah. I need to see him do it under high pressure and a close game, and
We'll see how he does in the game.
yeah. We'll see. Hopefully that game against Michigan turns out to be a good game. Hopefully he gets an opportunity for his Heisman moment and proves us wrong.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Absolutely. All right. Moving on to games for this week. Week 13. Only got 5. It's a light week. It's that random week at the end of the year. The SEC is playing a bunch of crappers. And, Big Ten usually doesn't have that many high ranked matchups, and yeah, other conferences are closing conference play, and yeah, just not a lot of games this week. But we got some good
Right.
ones, got some interesting ones. Only got 5 for you, and we're gonna go through them real quick. Starting off game day, USC going to Oregon, playoff implications on the line. Winner of this game, I think, can probably comfortably say they're in the playoffs. Let me pull up a playoff predictor while you go ahead and make your pick.
Yeah. I am gonna go ahead and pick Oregon with this one. They, I think they're the better team. I think they had their one scare this year against Iowa, excuse me. I think that was their one game where they should have won comfortably that they didn't win comfortably, and I think this is another one of those games where they're focused. They're going to be ready for it. They're going to be there. They dominated Minnesota last week. They got their get back game. They're feeling a little bit better about themselves. Dante Moore had a 300-yard game, 2 touchdowns, 3 incompletions. I mean, he looked really good. USC also coming off a really big win there. Won late against Iowa as well. I mean, they both struggled against Iowa. Um, it took a big comeback from USC to win that one. They had to shut out the Hawkeyes in the second half. Um, but I mean, both of these teams are exciting, and if USC does lose, it'll be a really disappointing end to what was a really fun season, I feel like, for the Trojans, especially after last year's kind of disappointing season where it was the first year in the Big Ten and they just, they kind of lost a lot of close games that they probably should have won. They had a 1 point loss to Maryland, a 1 touchdown loss to Minnesota, a 3 point loss in overtime to Penn State, 3 point loss to Michigan. Just a lot of losses that could have very easily turned into wins. So, I mean, it things are looking up for USC to say the least. But I am going with Oregon.
This game is probably the most in no, not probably. This is the most impactful game of the week. It's going to matter who wins and it's going to matter how they win.
Interesting.
It's going to matter the final score, but no matter who's on top. Um I think if Oregon wins this game, I think they can comfortably say they control their own destiny into the playoffs. I think if Oregon loses
Hmm.
this game close, I'm talking very close, they still got a pretty good chance to make the playoffs, at least according to the ESPN playoff predictor. They got what, more than a 70% chance should they lose this game and beat
Hmm.
Washington next week. USC must win game, and you got to look good doing it. I put this in as USC winning out. It said they only got 68% chance to make it if they win out at what, 10-2. So with this game being in Oregon, which is, it's beatable. Indiana went in there and won by 10 earlier in the year. Oregon 10.5 point favorites. USC is coming to play for their season pretty much. I think it's gonna depend on how banged up Oregon is really. They've lost a
Hmm.
lot of key guys over the last few weeks, and it's really just gonna depend on how healthy they are. Kenyon Sadiq has been dealing with an injury. Dante Moore has been battling a broken nose. He's been playing through it. DeCorian Moore missed last week. And we've still yet to see Evan Stewart play for the Oregon Ducks this year. He's still got a chance to come back this week. If Oregon gets healthy, they're winning this game. I'm gonna say they get healthy enough to where they can pull this one out. Sorry,
Yeah.
long ramble about injuries and whatnot, but yeah. Pitt and Georgia Tech.
Jeez, this is the I feel like the battle of will they, won't they?
Yeah.
Uh, I mean, Pitt, they've looked exciting at times, and then the very next week they go and lose. Georgia Tech, I needed to what was it, a 19 point comeback to beat to beat Boston College. I mean, that's ugly. That's extremely ugly. But you'll take an ugly win over an ugly loss 100 times out of 100. So
Yep.
Uh, I'd say I'm gonna go with Georgia Tech. This is a home game for Georgia Tech, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I'll go Georgia Tech. I think that's my deciding factor right now with how these two teams are playing.
If I'm Georgia Tech, again, playoff implicating game. Would have been more high stakes if Pitt won last week against Notre Dame, but they didn't. So I think they can consider themselves out, but they still got a chance to play spoiler on Georgia Tech's season. If I'm the Yellow Jackets right now, I'm thinking about the next 2 weeks. I think I can either beat Pitt here and make it to my conference championship game, win that, and guarantee myself in the playoffs. Or I can lose this week, be in a position where I got to beat Georgia next week, and hope that that's enough if you pull that off. So I think Tech is considering this a must-win game, and in front of their home crowd at Bobby Dodd, I think they're going to get it done.
Yeah.
Next game up is BYU Cincinnati. All these games, playoff implicating games. BYU just on the outside looking in, according to the committee. Cincinnati out of the mix at this point. But again, like Pitt, still a chance to play spoiler. This one in Cincinnati. Who you got, Ryan?
Yeah, I mean I think BYU is gonna win out until the Big 12 championship game. So they've been playing well all year. They're one loss, obviously to Texas Tech, and th they haven't slipped up uh in any other game quite yet, and I don't see them doing that this week, especially coming off a pretty dominant win versus a TCU team that was showing some fight early in the year. I mean, 44-13 is just, I mean, manhandled them. So give me the Cougs.
I'm also going to take BYU in this game, but I think it's going to be a very close game, and I think that's going to matter a lot. We've known the committee likes to pay attention to wins and how you win, and losses and how you lose. We saw that in their game against Texas Tech, Ryan. They didn't look very good, did they?
Mm-mm.
And they got punished for it, dropped out from the playoff bracket with that being their first loss of the season. So
Mm.
I think they're going to win this game, but it's not going to look very good, and that's going to end up costing them. And at the end of the year, the committee's going to go, okay, I have BYU with 2 losses, one of them being to Texas Tech, or 2 of them being to Texas Tech, one of them being a conference champion, or I have Oklahoma right here who's beaten Alabama and who's beaten Tennessee on the road and who's beat Michigan, and I'm going to go ahead and pick Oklahoma. So
Mm. Mm.
that's BYU's got to win this game, and they got to make it look convincing if they want to get in these playoffs.
I think they can. Cincinnati just, I mean, got upset at home,
I think they
so
can
it's
too,
definitely it's definitely possible. I mean, yeah, they lost to Arizona at home, so
but I just don't know if they will.
yeah.
Moving on, Mizzou at Oklahoma. Oh man, it's a trend today. All these teams looking to play spoiler. Oklahoma is with the win against Alabama last week, as comfortably said, we are in the playoffs should we win out. Missouri goes to Norman, looking to end that hope for the Sooners. This game last year was a classic. Ended on a scoop and score, or at least the scoring play was a scoop and score by Zion Young to put the Tigers ahead at the very end of that game. Hopefully, we get a classic like that similar. Ryan, who you got?
Yeah, this is going to be tough. I don't think Drummond's been playing up to that level that we saw earlier in the year. The Tigers kind of have a question mark at quarterback right now. It could be Prbula, it could be Zollers. I think defense is going to be the determining factor, and as good as I think Mizzou's defense is going to play, I think Oklahoma's defense is a little bit better. And if they can shut down the pass game early and often and start keying in on the run and Ahmad Hardy and Jamal Roberts, I think it's going to be wraps for the Tigers. And I unfortunately have to pick the Sooners.
Um, yeah, I think Ryan said it best. Defense going to be a huge part. I think Oklahoma's defense is going to absolutely. They're saying my two the two situations right now is a true freshman or a quarterback that has got 1.5 functioning ankles. And I just
And
beat
didn't
Alabama,
really look good in his last couple of
and
games.
I just beat Alabama. Okay. Um, Yeah, I think
I just took down a Heisman quarterback pretty comfortable, like shut down too.
I
I
think
mean,
I think if Oklahoma forces one turnover, that's all they're gonna need, and I think they're gonna end
yeah,
up doing that, and their defense is
I
gonna
think they're going to force more than
win.
one turnover.
I think so too, but I think one is all they're gonna need.
Yeah.
All right, a little bit of a fun one for the last game of the week. Harvard and Yale. Undefeated Harvard clinched the Ivy championship last week, and now they take on Yale, who's got that one Ivy loss. But man, this is one of the biggest rivalries in the sport. Who you got, Ryan?
I think it's time to play a little bit of spoiler. I think the Yale Bulldogs are going to take this one.
Ryan, how tall are you?
No, you can't call me a midget. I'm not that short.
Yeah, no, give me Harvard.
Not so fast, midget.
I'll take my 10,000.
Classic
I'll
Lee
take my 10,000 men over your scrawny little bulldog. Any day, midget. Nah, I'm kidding.
I'm sorry. Did you just call a bulldog scrawny?
The Yale bulldog is not all bulldogs.
Uga's not. Yeah, sure, whatever.
I'll take my 10,000 men against your however many nerds.
I'm sorry. Time out. I'm throwing the challenge flag on that one. We've got, refs hats coming off. We've got unsportsmanlike conduct on like 15 players. What did you just say? What did you just call the Yale Bulldogs?
I'm kidding. It's 10,000 nerds versus 10,000 nerds.
That's what I thought, buddy.
Hey.
10,000 legacies versus 10,000 legacies.
Hey, we wouldn't have football if it wouldn't be for the nerds.
If it wasn't for the Veritas and the Bulldogs.
Exactly. Yeah, no, I'm still going Harvard.
Yeah, no, that's fine. I'll go Yale. Hopefully that game's nationally broadcasted.
Dude,
I would absolutely watch that one.
Yeah, it is.
That's exciting.
All right, that's gonna do it for our week 13, right?
Yep.
Only 2 weeks left. I'm gonna cry. But then we got conference championships to talk about.
Gosh, I can't wait to watch you cry.
And then you mean like how I saw you cry on Saturday?
No, I was pouting. That's a different.
I want everyone to have this known. Ryan started writing an article about how bad Texas played before the game was over.
In my defense, I did get a text message saying to write the article. All right.
Okay, but that's still very funny that you were instructed to start writing
that's hilarious.
article during the game. That's really funny. All right, that's gonna conclude our episode this week, episode 18 of the Pre-Snap Pressure Podcast. To another great week of football. We'll see you for the last week of the regular season next week, and rivalry weekend. Man, the game picks next week are gonna be fun. We hope to see you guys then. Thank you for watching.